kick things off with this loyalty session, we're first going to start with our earning rules. So when you navigate to loyalty in the navigation, you're going to see that you have analytics, statistics, and transactions first, and then earn rules. We're not going to go into analytics and statistics just yet. The reason being is that this is a new account, so of course we have no transactions, and in turn we don't have very many statistics to work off. But what I want to start with is your earning rules, and the reason being is because that's the foundation of your loyalty program. It decides how exactly your customers earn points, and it also gives you the opportunity to tweak things a little bit and introduce things like happy hours for some gamification within your program. So we're going to click on earn rules, and then you'll see you have unit transactions, you have orders, and then soon we'll be adding shifts and bookings. So we're going to start off with unit transactions. And when you navigate in here, you're going to see that you already have a base rule, which we auto-generate for every account that's created. And that's always going to be that 1 point is earned for every €1 spent, or $1, £1, whatever currency that you've set up in your account. If you want to change this, you can simply click on it, and then you can tweak these values to your liking. So if you want to say for every €1 spent, a customer can earn 10 points, or conversely, you can say for every €10 spent, a customer will earn 1 point. You can completely customize this as you'd like. You can say for every €50, they earn 2 points, whatever you'd like. What we recommend is that you keep this simple, really easy to track and understand for your customers. So I'm going to just stick with for every €1 spent, customers earn 1 point. And then you can choose whether it's going to be in strict or proportional mode. I would recommend you always leave this in proportional mode, which is the default. And once you've tweaked it to your liking, you can hit submit. Then the next thing for your base rule is the settings, which is the last item here in the left-hand navigation. And what I recommend choosing here is that you round up all of your transactions. You can also choose to keep them as is, or you can round it down. I would recommend rounding things up. It's a bit more encouraging for your customers. It really gets them building some momentum when they're earning those loyalty points. And then the last thing that you need to configure for your base rule is whether or not that rule is applied to negative transactions. I would recommend that you don't apply this rule to negative transactions. The reason being is that once you start adding some more complex rules or advanced rules, which I'll show you in just a second, it can get a little bit tricky. So I would recommend that you avoid applying this to negative transactions. Now, if we go back to our earn rules, now that we've configured the base rule, you can see that we have our advanced rules here. So we haven't added any yet, but I'm going to add one with you right now. So once you click new rule there, you're going to see that we have 5 templates in here. And then you can also choose an empty loyalty rule where you build it up from scratch yourself. So I'll show you 2 examples, one of which is going to be us building up a rule by ourselves. But to start with, I'm going to select the happy hour template. And once you've selected your template, you can go to next, and then you can see the filter here. So it's on a day and time, so a certain day at a certain time. If you want to change it, you can just click on it, and you can also select 2 dates on the calendar. So let's say, for example, between the 17th and 19th of April. But I think the most common and standard use case is to say on a day. And we're going to do a weekend. So we'll do Saturday until Sunday, and then we can choose whether we want it to be the entire day or between 2 times. Because it's a happy hour, I think it makes more sense to have it between 2 times. So we're going to say that between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. we have a happy hour every Saturday and Sunday. And then you can hit update filter once you've entered the information as you like. If you want to add more to this filter, you can, or you can also add a separate filter group. So let's say, for example, you want to also have this same earning rule on Friday afternoons between 3 and 5. You can do that. So we're going to select a day and time. The day is going to be Friday. And we're going to say between 2 times once again of 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. Now we're going to save that filter and hit close, and then we can click through to next. And this is where you actually edit the details of the rule itself. So we've already configured how it's going to be applied or when it's going to be applied. This is where we decide what exactly is being applied. So we have a multiplication rule here, and then we are going to configure the value by which we are multiplying those points. So the default option here is 2, but you can create whatever value you would like here. So you can do triple points, you can do quadruple points. I'm going to do triple points for this case. And then once you've configured that to your liking, you hit submit in the top right hand corner. And then you'll be given an overview here. So if you want to change the name, for example, you can do that. You can change the rounding type and the amount and update that if you need to. And then you also have the validity here, which is just an overview of those filters that we've configured, which decide when this loyalty rule is going to be applied. And then once everything is done to your liking, you can quickly check the settings. So rounding type again is round up, so there's no issue there. And then when we go back and click on that rule again, we can hit activate in the top right hand corner. And now once you've done that, that rule is going to be live, and now your customers will be able to earn those triple points between 3 and 5 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's an example of how you can apply a happy hour rule. What we can also do is create a rule from scratch by selecting an empty loyalty rule. And for this example, I'm going to say that people can earn triple loyalty points or double loyalty points, whatever you'd like, on their birthday. So I'm going to do empty loyalty rule and click next. And now we're going to add our filter group. So I'm going to say it's filtered based on contact, and I'm going to select an attribute. The attribute is going to be birth date, and we're going to say is today, and then we're going to save that filter. So now this loyalty rule is only being applied to people on the day of their birthday. We can go through to the actual rule itself next, and we're going to say multiplication, and we can say 3, so that means everybody is going to earn triple points on their birthday. We're going to hit submit, and then once again, we'll hit activate once we've configured it to our liking. And now that rule is live. So this is a really nice way of making your loyalty program a little bit more interesting, adding a new dimension to it, and getting that gamification in there.